Welcome everyone to the greatest esports show on earth, the Circus at the end of the Overwatch League world. As the menagerie that is the Overwatch League's 2023 regular season comes to a close, there is a preliminary race not to the finish line and playoffs, but to escape the vortex at the bottom of the league table. With a four-way tie on the one hand and a one-game gap on the other, 6 teams are attempting to avoid falling into that last spot as a bottom 3 team in the standings. These final 2 weeks are vital, not just because of the playoff implications, but because this may very well be the final chance at a legacy. One last shot at the big top. As we venture into the chaos, it's important to remember the rules to qualify. Play-ins for North America will consist of teams spanning from the 4th seed all the way down to 10th seed. That means 3 teams will be automatically ineligible to compete, thus ending their season. 2 of the 3 bottom teams have already been decided as the Los Angeles Valiant and Vegas Eternal attempt to play spoiler for the remaining teams. Dreams are about to die, and in their wake, a winner, possibly for the final time in the Overwatch League era, will emerge. Most teams hoping to sneak into play-ins can qualify off the back of some Los Angeles Gladiators bad luck. Even if teams outside of the San Francisco Shock lose one of their final 2 matches, the Gladiators have such an abysmal map differential that the tie will break there. LA's inability to perform consistently coming home to roost at the end of a long and arduous season for the Gladiators. But let's get specific. Let's put a team like London Spitfire in the worst situation possible while at least winning 1 game. For this hypothetical, London goes 1 for 1 with a -4 map differential, resulting in a 7-9 stage record and a total map differential of -9. To survive that scenario, Los Angeles Gladiators have to win both their games and cannot lose more than 2 maps throughout the entirety of both series. If they slip up even 3 times, their hopes of a last chance saloon run are already gone. A 3rd map loss, in this case, would technically put them in a tie with London with an equal match record and map differential, but per the Overwatch League tie-breaking rules, the tie would be broken thanks to their head-to-head record. The Spitfire beat the Gladiators in week 3 of the summer stage, so the spot is theirs by virtue of them being better on the day. And this creates the biggest problem for the Gladiators. Both London and New York have head-to-head priority over them, putting them at a significant disadvantage to qualify for the 2023 play-ins, simply because they couldn't keep up with their rivals. And legalities aside, this is best case scenario for them. Los Angeles have gone 0 for 5 so far and won 5 total maps this stage, and while they've recently added players like Carl and Marvel, nothing seems to be working out for them. They are, it seems, as much as it pains me to say it, a team destined for the doldrums, rather than a last dash for glory. But while the City of Angels might be out of the running for nabbing a final Overwatch League championship, there is one area that has quite a bit of hope under this big top. While Atlanta Reign may be mathematically locked in for the 2023 playoffs, and deservedly so, the remaining seats are still up for grabs with one particularly hungry New England team looking to do the impossible. Yes, there are still very real ways for Boston Uprising to qualify directly for the playoffs. If Boston Uprising win both their final games and the Houston Outlaws lose 1 game, unlikely against Vegas Eternal I grant you, but not impossible against London Spitfire, we enter a scenario where Boston may steal away a direct qualification for playoffs. Let's say Boston win their final 2 games with the most narrow margins possible. A worst case, best case scenario, if you will. Ending the qualifying matches with a 12-4 record and a +18 map differential. Houston can afford exactly 3 map losses in this case to maintain their 3rd seed and direct playoff qualification. This would see the Outlaws end with a 12-4 record, but a +19 map differential. If they total 4 map losses in their next 2 games, then in this scenario they would tie both Boston's match record and their map record, ultimately giving the seed to the Uprising due to their head-to-head priority thanks to their win during week 1 of the summer stage. Another way for the Uprising to directly qualify is to pray that the Florida Mayhem drops both their final games in devastating fashion while winning their own emphatically. To avoid any deeper tiebreaker shenanigans, Boston needs to sweep their games and see Florida end the next 2 weeks going -4 in maps. This would have Boston with a 12-4 record with a +22 differential, while Florida would sit with an identical record but with a +21 map differential. Is it likely? Well, no, but would it be dramatic? Hell yes. If they wanted to remain extra safe, Boston would need at least a 3-1 win over Florida in week 5 due to their 2-3 loss to the Mayhem week 2 of the summer stage, which would secure their head-to-head map differential if tiebreaker rules were to come into effect. Look, those are a lot of numbers, and the odds are clearly not in Boston's favour. We're not going to pretend their route to play-ins is a cakewalk, but there is a chance. As Atlanta Reign's Gator once said, every year, someone gets lucky. With a new meta yet to take shape, maybe this year it's Boston's turn to ride the wave. Away from that chaos though, this is a last chance at the spotlight. Say what you will about our silly little esport, but the end of Season 6 is going to be a sad and potentially life-changing one for everyone involved in the league. We will be saying goodbye to a fair few players by the end of the regular season for one reason or another. Realistically, both Vegas and the Valiant are done, and with the future of Overwatch esports being pretty much unknown at this point, this could be the last time we see these players for a very long time. Not just because of the lack of stability that esports brings, but due to the lack of competition globally once this season concludes and the eventual vote to stay in the league under the new rules or leave forever goes down. We still don't know when that vote will take place, the exact terms of the new agreement, or even what threshold teams need to reach for the vote to go through and for the league to even continue. The future is, for the moment, completely in the dark. In the present though, fans and pundits alike will say goodbye to the likes of Seeker, Knife and other big names as the final teams are doomed and are knocked out of their play-in race for perhaps the last time. And that feeling, as much as it's hard to admit it, will happen for every team but one. At the end of the day, there's only one trophy. Each team that exits the Overwatch League's 2023 playoffs houses players that may depart the game for good by the end of the year. And while this was always possible throughout its run, under the weight of the collapsing Overwatch League circus that we've known and loved for years, the possibility that this might all soon be coming to an end feels all too real. And on that very sad note, if you're looking to relive the best moments and some good memories from Overwatch League's past, check out this video, where we rank every grand final in the Overwatch League's history.